So what exactly is a reoccurrence or a relapse? Simply stated, it's a return to substance use after an attempt to stop. That's really all that this means. And so while it is one of the most frightening parts of the recovery journey for so many families and for their loved ones, it quite simply just means that there was a return to substance use after an attempt to stop. So why? Why does that happen? When I try to pull this off of substance use, which is so emotionally driven, obviously, and I say, how many of you have ever tried a New Year's resolution? I'm going to start exercising, I'm going to start eating healthy, I'm going to give up all the sweets. In the same way that for so many, you're motivated to stop, you want to do well, and then something happens. I always like to say it's like a perfect storm, where you had a difficult day, after not sleeping through the night, you get caught in traffic, you have a bad day with your work environment, and your brain reminds you, the last time you felt like this, that substance worked. Again, keep in mind, the brain doesn't remember good or bad, right or wrong when it is triggered. It says what worked and what didn't. And so those thoughts start to pop into their head, even below their level of awareness, in the same way that when we start to feel stressed or anxious, we pick up a donut, in my case always a cupcake, and return to a behavior that we attempted to stop. So what does it mean for your loved one? It means that their journey is continuing. It means that they need to continue to have the support and the belief that hope is still available to them. What we want for families and for your loved ones is to remember that a reoccurrence doesn't mean you don't want it. It doesn't mean that it can't happen. It means that it returned. These are the reasons why we encourage people to stay in the continuum of care. Because when there is a return, we don't want anybody to feel the shame or the guilt. What we want is for them to know that their recovery efforts still need to be addressed. And we want families to know and believe in the possibility that that person still can get and maintain long-term recovery. I always like to say, if you have a child that does poorly on a math test, what you don't need to do is keep telling them when they failed. Do you know the last time that you took a test you failed? Do you know that the last time that you took a test you didn't do well? What you would say is that this time you've got it. This time it's going to be different for you. This time you did this differently and you studied differently. And this time I believe in you and your ability to pass. So what does it mean for your loved one? It means that today that's who they need. That's who you need. Somebody to say, this time we got it. This time we're going to learn from it. This time we're going to look over our shoulders, see what we need to do differently, and together we're going to continue to fight for recovery.